Hi, my name is Krysha Caldwell, and the sexual assault happened when I was 5 at my aunt's house. So my personal experience was first with a male cousin of mine. He was 16, I was 5, and the experience for me, I don't think I noticed it until I was 17, because that's when I first explained it to my parents. I had kept it in since I was 5, and I'm not sure if I recognized how it would have impacted my mom or not, but I kept it until I was 17. And I expressed it, and I'm not sure. It made me, I guess, hypersexual, if that's a term, but I didn't think of it as an effect yet until I got older, and then I started to realize how hyper sexual I was. And then when I did realize how it had affected me, I started going to therapy. That wasn't until college. It made me more, I would say that my response to men was more, I wanted to be in control. So I have this natural control mechanism thing that I do to where, like I said, I typically want to be in control of my situation. If I don't feel like I'm in control of my situation, I tend to back off. So it's this fight or flight response. I'm not a fawn person. Either I'm in control, or if I feel like I'm not, I immediately back away. So for men, I typically leave relationships if I don't feel like it's going the way that I need it to go, to where I feel safe. But since therapy, I would say I'm learning how to relax more. I was a person that people pleased, and I'm learning that I don't have to. I'm typically a person that handles things on their own. So, like I said, from 5 to 17, I held that in. I read books. That was like my outlet. I focused on school. I focused on dance. Those were my coping mechanisms. Until I got to college, that's where I was able to actually unpack everything. I would say that therapy helped a lot. I'm still learning. I'm still unlearning a lot of habits and survival techniques that I use to help myself when it comes to dealing with regular people. Yeah, I would say that that's what it was. Therapy is very beneficial. Um, it helps you actually hear the thoughts that are in your head. It helps you to be able to dissect what it is that you're thinking, to be able to help, to be able to have somebody validate what it is that you're thinking, or debunk the negative things that you're thinking about yourself. Because for me, I felt like it was my fault. At 5, I felt like it was me. Like, I allowed it. My mom, she gave me the resources and the tools. She told me, if somebody ever touched you, let her know. But I felt like it was my fault. I allowed it to happen. It was a family member. And then when I didn't tell her, I felt like it was further my fault, because it was like, she told you to tell her and you didn't. So the times that it happened when I was in high school, to where I didn't necessarily consent, but I just let it happen. It was like, well, Krysha, you let it happen, so how could it be sexual assault? How could it be real? Who would believe you? Um, as I sit here now, it's more so like, wow, like I experienced that. Um, hmm. Yeah, therapy definitely is a perfect resource and a tool because it helps you to um, realize what you experienced, to take it into internalize it when you want to, when you necessarily want to like push it away from you, or it helps you understand who you are, who you're not, um, what you can become. Um, so definitely therapy. Talking to friends who have experienced similar things, talking to people who haven't, because you realize how common it is, and how people who haven't experienced it's not common to them, so they don't necessarily know what it is that they need to say or to help prevent this type of thing. For me, it's been really hard to trust people that are family and that's close to me, right? Because for me, that was somebody that I was supposed to trust. With me, it happened with a family member, and it happened with a couple of family members, not just male, female too. So for me, it was like people that were older than me, people that I'm supposed to trust, people that were blood, and you're supposed to trust these people. So for me, it became a point to where like I wasn't necessarily nicer to my family, because with individuals, regular individuals, you expect them to hurt you. You expect them to not care about you. You expect these negative things. But when you expect these things from randoms, it's hard to decipher, like, okay, so I'm supposed to trust randoms over my family members when they can do the same thing to me. It's hard. So it left me with this big I developed a trust issue with not just randoms, like people who are people that I'm in the street. Honestly, I'm nicer because, like I said, I expect negative things from them. With my family, for me, it left me feeling like I actually have to watch the people that the people that are close to me, because I'm more vulnerable. I let my guard down more. To the person who is surviving, keep going. Um, One thing I told myself at a young age, and I don't realize if I knew that I was helping my older self, was that don't be a product of your environment or what you've experienced. I realized at a young age that I didn't want to be a product of my experience or my environment, because that can either lead you to repeating uh, the same patterns, or it could lead you to becoming an empty shell of yourself. And I never wanted to give my assaulters the power over me. That was my thing. I never wanted to give anybody, whoever did something that remotely took away my innocence, power over me, because when you give them power, it lessens who you are, it lessens who you become, it lessens everything that you could become, because perseverance is everything. Who you are, what you endure builds character, and either you can take the wrong path or you can take the right path. And I wanted to be a person who took the right path. I wanted to be a person who protected those who experienced that. I wanted to be a person who was able to shed light or provide an example of what you can become despite what you went through. So persevere. And it's easier said than done, because I've had my fair share of mental blockages. Not, it definitely makes you have this, what is it when you, imposter syndrome. It makes you have this imposter syndrome to where you, when there are things that you're good at, you start to reflect on the things that you've been through to where you're like, I don't think I could possibly make it here, or I could possibly do this because of the things that I've been through. But God uses people. He uses everyone. It doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter where you came from. And you have to recognize that, and you have to realize that there are so many powerful people who have been through the trenches. And I would say that's a treacherous place to go through, to feel like, or to deal with trusting somebody with your being, with yourself, and then they take advantage of that, because people are going to do that. So it's better to persevere versus let them having the power. When it comes to allies, I would say comfort, emotional support, and letting them know that they are stronger than what they've ever been through is very beneficial. Whenever I talk to people or my friends per se, that I can trust and they give me that reassurance, it's very powerful. It's very powerful. I am Krysha Caldwell, and I am a survivor of sexual assault and not a victim.